fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we're taking a look at Honor Guard Worf, how he works in the game, how to use him in PvP, and how exactly he can improve your gameplay if you manage to unlock him so far, with hopefully future unlockings coming very, very soon. So there's 2 points I want to hit at the beginning of this video. The first one being that the logs that we take a look at today will not include Martok or Galron. Galron being able to be unlocked in the second tier of the Battle Pass, the premium version at the bottom, at the very end, and then Martok getting sourced throughout events and everything, as well as the Battle Pass. Until most players get those characters, I won't make a video on them, but that way in the next couple weeks, you can expect to know what you're going to be seeing. So we're going to be taking a look at Honor Guard Worf as most people are or can use him now, and explain how exactly that works. So whether you're a high level player or low level player, I think this is going to be a good video for you. I've even got a picture of a Kumari using Honor Guard Worf with high success. That's gonna be a lot of fun to look at. Second of all, we gotta give a shout out to somebody who has supported the channel for a long time, whether it be, mostly with videos, honestly, because Ska right here has been the one who, if you remember, gave us the Corvus video and the Sampek video for the level 50 plus ships. Now, if you're like me out there, you probably are nowhere close to getting the level 50 plus ships, but you want to see them in action and you want to see them in the game. I certainly did, and hopefully you did as well and enjoyed it. Well, they just got their own planet, well deserved. We asked for it when we were doing our Corvus video, and look, I'm not saying it's because of me. Ska deserved it anyway. I'm just glad that they managed to get it. So big awesomes for Ska. Let's go ahead and jump into this and talk about how Honor Guard Worf works, and then we're going to talk about some logs. The officer ability is the main thing we're going to focus on. For the first 8 rounds of combat against other players, Honor Guard Worf increases the critical hit chance of the ship by 45%. Now, this is only a PvP working officer. It does not work for any other application for that critical bonus. And then, when fighting other players, increases the ship's armor piercing by 30% of the crew attack whenever the ship scores a critical hit. So that's a secondary ability. It is kind of nice, but it's limited to basically fighting. Like if you're in an Enterprise, you would use that to fight an augur. So it is useful, but you got to know when and where you would actually want to use that ability. So let's hop back real quick and let's take a look at some battle logs. We've done several different ones that we will talk about today. I want to give a shout out to Captain Klause, who's the one who helped me with today's logs, and you can see example here. They are a level 46 player, and don't worry, I'm not trying to brag about me beating a level 46 player, because they certainly can bring their pilum around and swamp me whenever they want to. Yeah, I did damage the pilum, so I'm very happy about that. I mean, look, I managed to damage a pilum. I'm pretty impressed. Managed to hit a critical, and look at that, a little bit of hull health damage. Enjoy the massive repair build there, Klaus. Okay. So let's take a look at the first log and talk about the loadout. Right here, I'm using Gorkon, and then Honor Guard Worf as captain, and then Kirk. The reason a lot of people would use this loadout is because Kirk's going to keep the shields up, and we've got the Honor Guard Worf and the Gorkon all going for critical builds. Now, I'll go ahead and point out, as you see, that they're also going against a maxed Marcus and a maxed Merrick, and you know the amount of stats that a level 46 player can stack. So even though they are a 4 million strength ship, this is a very, very close fight. They've got 5 levels on me in the game, lots of research, and they're using maxed anti-faction and maxed mitigation officers. So keep that in mind as you're reading this log. So did manage to hit early on. Now the key is, now that we've got hull breach active, it's what is our next critical hit? And you see the critical going to about 500,000 and then 600,000. It's a nice increase. The key is that you want those criticals to be consistent. And right now, my Enterprise, if you look at we actually just look at it inside the log. If you hit the little I button, when it says Honor Guard Worf is going to add a 45% chance, you would take your native crit chance, which for me is 12%, and add it. It means I have a 57% chance of getting a critical on any shot in the first 8 rounds. But that also means I might not get it. But you can see with that win, we managed to have success. Now, this was a better loadout for me, where I changed it up a little bit against the opponent that I was fighting, where instead of using Kirk, I used Marcus as captain, which would still allow me to have morale, but then also give me the shield piercing. And I am definitely falling behind on my Marcus. He's tier 3, he's weak, he's terrible. We got to work on that. But the key that you're looking for here is the criticals and what we're doing. Didn't get one in round 1, but got it in round 2. And then as soon as that happens, you see the addition of the damage with critical that you get. Remember how it works. Just a quick little refresher. when you're going through the damage process, all your bonuses, like your officer XP bonus, your research, your buildings, are going to magnify damage by itself. Honor Guard Worf giving you a critical lets your critical bonus kick in, which is a multiplier for me, 209%. So I would take whatever damage I'm created, and then I'm immediately multiplying that by 2.09. And then the bonus of Hull Breach is the background ability of Hull Breach is then another 1.5 times multiplication. So you're going to have damage, multiply, then multiply, and that's how you're able to go from doing something like 162 to going to 620 in an Enterprise, where the main issue with the Enterprise is definitely the fact that its damage does not stack up to other ships. So finding a way to magnify that with officers like Honor Guard Worf and Gorkon combined, or Lorca, is the best way to go about it. Managing to, hey man, all my shields is down. Still, we managed to live it out. Surprisingly so. Now let's move on to another example of logs. We do have a couple of losses here to throw in where, he was able to get the shield stripped down because Marcus did not heal fast enough. And that's going to be a problem with morale based on how he works. Just basically overpowering me. And this was me trying to run a Merrick to try to show what is better, to run Merrick or to run Gorkon. This was a great conversation I've had with higher level players and mid-tier players, because the real key depends on where this anti-faction officer is. And we really should do an entire video about him. For a higher level player, an anti-faction officer is probably going to be naturally stronger than Gorkon, even though Gorkon gives you that extra multiplicative at the end of a damage calculation period. The reason being is you can stack so many stats. For me, I stack around 20 to 25,000 stats max in my ships. Whereas a higher level player, say you're level 46, Klause can easily stack 40 to 50,000 per. When you take the bonuses of a Merrick, like right here, 500% of the crew's defense bonus to damage, having the ability to stack up to 50,000 means that you're going to be able to out damage what a Gorkon could do with an anti-faction officer. So the big key for you as a higher level is how many tiers do you have for officer spots, and with that, how many stats can you stack? Anti-faction officers and mitigation officers, two of the best things to have late in game at max level, which you see that Klause has here. Maxed Marcus and then a maxed anti-faction Merrick, able to put out extreme amounts of damage, as you can see right here, native 300, and then we hit criticals of around 1 million, and you see some big damage here with the double shot on the Burrell's kinetic. So let's move on to a couple of other fights that we had. We moved over to this one right here, which was a Saladin versus a Bortus. We wanted to show some of that lower level type of ship play. Now, a lot of the lower levels are probably not going to have, our higher level Kangs. This was a kind of a mess up round because he forgot he put TOS Uhura on. We quickly rectified that in the next battle. So don't worry, he knows exactly what he's doing. And then put Merrick back on there. And you can see this particular fight almost went in the wrong direction for me, running the Gorkon Kurla Honor Guard Worf. And I wanted to show this crew off because this is the one that a lot of players in the 20s are going to be most familiar with, especially for those of you using Saladins. And there's a couple of ways to run it. The key is that you need the criticals to happen early and get Hull Breach active immediately. Now, you can get it with the first one critical, and then you need Hull Breach to turn on right after, which is what happens in my next shot, which means the next critical is getting a multiplicative that we were talking about earlier, damage, critical, etc. And now we're getting a 500 shot on a non big gun. That's just the energy weapon for the Saladin firing. And then we have another one here. Now this doesn't go 4 rounds, but you can see the importance of getting Hull Breach active and what that can do with your ship. Now I've also got the Kurla giving me a plus 50% to kinetic weapons, which would be the big gun. So when it hits a critical, instead of getting a 200% bonus, it would get a 250% bonus, increasing the amount of damage I'm able to put out to the opponent's ship. And you see that right here in this log. So a few different loadouts that you can look at, and I promised you a low level version of this. Well, here is a Kumari beating a D4, and this is probably not something you expect to see. Now, this is a combination of several things. Obviously, this is a very high level Kang. This is also a maxed anti-faction officer in Lennar. And, and when we were listing our uncommons the other day, I definitely forgot to mention Lennar and Yanak, who are uncommon anti-faction officers. Lennar being the anti-Klingon one and Yanak being the anti-Romulan. These are very important to max out, and this is a great example of why, because almost never would you expect, even for a level 44 player, to have a Kumari beating an epic ship. I do realize that one's a max ship and that one's a tier 3. All of that is true, but it's still something where you have a level 24 ship going against a level 34 ship and having great success, even though the officers are comparable. It's all about crew loadout and being able to focus on using these officers early on. And for me, as you can see, my Honor Guard Worf is still tier 1, yet I'm able to have great success with them based on the fact that criticals are simply a very big part of this game in terms of how you can create extra damage immediately. You know, you can do it by upgrading your ships, but that's such a small amount compared to what things like hull breach and critical hits can do. That's one of the reasons that I love these build outs so much, and can't wait to do some more here in the near future. But until then, we're going to have to wrap it up because, hey, you've got what you needed. You've got what you were looking for. And you've got Honor Guard Worf, hopefully. If not, maybe we can pick them up in the Christmas event that's coming up, and maybe they'll be able to do that like we were doing in the Thanksgiving event. Maybe for Christmas, we can work on getting Honor Guard Worf, because if you do PvP and you're in territory capture, a lot of ways that you can use Honor Guard Worf to great success, including on your sarcophagus in territory. Yeah, maybe you'll do it there, whatever you want to do, especially if you're one of those people who decide to go buy cloaking for your sarcophagus. It's a piece of crap shit, but some people still love it. Anyway, deuces, that's me. I love y'all. Shout out to everybody who helped in the video today. Shout out to Sky, shout out to Captain Klause, and then shout out, of course, to our good friend here with the Kumari. You can see their name on the screen, and that's still a really freaking impressive kill. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. It looks like this. Don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, hey, join the Discord and just make sure you're following, or, you know, donate, whatever you want to do. All in all, I'm glad that you're here. I love y'all. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Hope you're enjoying Duality Part 3. Can't wait to tell you some more in the next video. Bye-bye.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!